So last week, all the big hubbub in the wrestling community was the big Chris Jericho Kylie Rae situation that may or may not have taken place, and all the wild accusations floating around out there. And it kind of took over Twitter and the wrestling universe overall. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was giving their 2 cents. And what that made me want to do as a podcast journalist, the podcast journalist that I am, the handsome podcast journalist that I am, by the way. Just throw that in there. I wanted to see where all this shit was coming from. So I dove into that a little bit on the clip from last week. And here's what I came up with in a nutshell. Let me play you a brief clip of this. And Jericho, in a drunken tweet, a drunken rant, had gone hard on Stephen Pinu, basically saying, fuck you, you're a mark. I never signed any NDAs. And Stephen Pinu says, well, it's in your employee handbook, Chris. Unless you have a special one, we can figure it out. But it was what was found in the comments of this tweet that took this whole story from like a 4 on the who cares scale up to like an 8, right? And has caused Chris Jericho to now not even be on TV. So down here, I want to point you to this tweet from Nick Hausman. There he is. You see handsome Nick Hausman. What about the NDAs you make other people sign, Chris? This is the tweet that has been making the rounds, that has been fueling this fire. So here's the deal. You don't quit the hottest Fed going today, AEW, without reason. I have it from people in the know that Kylie was asked to go to Chris Jericho's room with the understanding that others would be there. When she got there, it was just him. He made a pass at her. No other details are given, and she freaked out. Let's bring it back here. So that checks out so far, right? Other than the fact that we have this tweet over here that's blurry as all fuck. We do know Kylie Rae was signed to AEW and then quickly left AEW. Who is behind the blur? I don't know, because I do believe that tweet was tweeted and deleted and now is just here back out on the internet and is being pushed around. And where exactly does any of this even come from? Well, everybody seems to be pulling off of the fact that Kylie Rae herself liked this fucking tweet here. So here's the deal tweet, right? So she put a little heart on it. So that is clearly an endorsement, which clearly proves beyond a shadow of any doubt that Chris Jericho is a sexual predator. At least that is what the internet wrestling community will have you think. So I had traced the source of all this business to this mysterious blurry tweet that's attributed to nobody, that's being spread around by marks on the internet. And the only thing that substantiates the tweet at all is a heart from Kylie Rae on the tweet itself, which isn't insignificant, but it's circumstantial. It doesn't prove beyond any shadow of a doubt that Chris Jericho actually did anything wrong. But one person that would have you think that he did was Nick Hausman. Nick Hausman was the journalist on top of this last week that was pushing it both in the tweets, talking about how many people have you made sign non-disclosure agreements, Chris? And then he doubled down on his podcast where he said this.
And I just, there are issues with Chris behind the scenes where I know of a lot of people who have been hurt by Chris and his actions. I do think that there's a lot of questionable stories about Chris that will find their way out over time. And when people are ready to tell those stories, that will cast him in a very different light. I mean, look, Harvey Weinstein won a lot of Oscars. Harvey Weinstein produced a lot of very popular films. Harvey Weinstein is now in jail. I'm not saying that's going to happen to Chris, but your narrative can very quickly turn if you're hiding a lot of skeletons in your closet.
To which I did something that I don't normally do or haven't done here. Now, I'm prone to rants from time to time on this show, but I don't really pick fights. And this particularly rubbed me the wrong way because as far as I could tell, there was really nothing to back any of this shit other than a heart from Kylie Rae. And here you have Nick Hausman saying some pretty significant allegations, defamatory allegations, in my opinion. You don't just reference Harvey Weinstein all fucking willy-nilly, right? So I was pretty upset about it. And I did, first I want to apologize because my approach was a little bit aggressive. Frankly, quite aggressive. I had made several tweets to Nick Hausman. Let's take a look at these here. So here you see, along with the short that I posted about that clip last week, I challenge at Nick Hausman to provide proof of the flippant, defamatory comments about I Am Jericho, NDAs, Harvey Weinstein, and hurt multiple people. What proof do you have? Post it. Shut up and apologize or show proof. Like I said, came on a little stiff. I didn't hear anything about that, so I followed up. I challenged at Nick Hausman to show me proof of his show his proof publicly of his wild Chris Jericho accusations, and he hasn't responded. The fact that I am a small content creator does not mean my voice is. So I will continue to push. And push I did. There was a video that I had put out, I believe, tweeted at him directly, and no response. So what I did was I took it upon myself to just message Nick Hausman. And so I sent a message to his contact on houseofwrestling.com, and Nick Hausman did respond. So first I'm going to go ahead and show you the message that I sent, and then his response verbatim, okay? I sent the following. Hello, my name is Seth. I run the Seth Grimes Media YouTube channel, link below. I was covering the Chris Jericho Kylie Rae story and found several of your tweets and videos alluding to some very serious allegations, including Chris making multiple people sign NDAs, Jericho hurting a number of people backstage that someday those stories will come out, and comparing Chris to Harvey Weinstein in no uncertain terms. What I was hoping to do is to get you to come out on record with any sort of proof of these allegations, a copy of an NDA, or a victim on the record. I wanted to clear this up because, one, if Chris is guilty of crimes, he must be outed. It must see the light of day for justice and safety. Or, number two, if there is no proof, then you are engaging in defamation based on hearsay and rumor. I am following up on this story this weekend, and I do believe a quote from you on the record addressing my two concerns would go a long way in either breaking the story or putting the rumors to rest. No quote or response will be noted publicly as well that you were reached out to for comment and ignored. Thank you for your time and understanding. So I realize I'm coming on very stiff with Nick, but I'm salty about this. Can't just, this was a hot button issue last week based on a whole lot of nothing. So I'm trying to get to the bottom of things, right? And to my surprise, Nick Hausman responded, and here is what he said. Hello, Seth. I never directly compared Chris to Harvey Weinstein in no uncertain terms. Let's pause right there. Play that clip again.
Light. I mean, look, Harvey Weinstein won a lot of Oscars. Harvey Weinstein produced a lot of very popular films. Harvey Weinstein is now in jail. I'm not saying that's going to happen to Chris, but your narrative can very quickly turn if you're hiding a lot of skeletons in your closet.
I never directly compared Chris to Harvey Weinstein in no uncertain terms. I think that your summation of my statement like this, Jericho hurting a number of people backstage, that someday those stories will come out, is far more accurate. That's something, right? Okay, so, I mean, he knows some shit that he's not talking about. And that's what I'm trying to pull out of this fucker here. But he ain't budging. He goes on. My opinions of Chris are my opinions of Chris, and I stand by them. I think referencing the heart emoji from a former female AEW wrestler indicating her own thoughts on Chris is worthy of being included in your conversation. Thank you for reaching out. Best of luck with your coverage. And what I do want to do is I want to thank Nick for replying to that and giving me a statement on the record. And I do want to apologize for coming on like an asshole, to be honest with you, coming on aggressive, because this is a situation where Chris is damn near canceled over nothing. There's nothing here. And I stand by that. There's nothing here. All there was that one blurry tweet. Here you see it on the screen. And this one blurry tweet, the only thing that backs it is the Kylie Rae heart. And I did acknowledge that in the previous video, and I am acknowledging it here. So there you go, Nick. Pat on the back for you for, all that hard journalism that you did to find that. Now, look, I'm still being rough on you. I think you know more than you're letting on. Yes, your opinions are your opinions of Chris, but you are sharing more than opinions, good sir. You are dangerously dipping your toe into defamation. But I think you have heard stories at the very least, if not have people who have talked to you off record. And I still think that you are doing the entire industry a disjustice by riding the fence here on this. If you have something worthy of, something that's noteworthy, that's going to go somewhere in the way of proof towards incriminating Chris Jericho, then if you know something hard, say something, show something, prove something that can put Jericho in jail or whatever the fuck, like you so eloquently put, comparing him to Harvey Weinstein. And if you don't have anything, then you're defaming him by saying these types of things. This is not your opinion. By saying that, I think there's people that are backstage. I mean, maybe you said I think, and that's your way. Look, I'm not here to point the finger or get you in any kind of, it's not a defamation thing. I think this is just, we need to be careful about the things that we say publicly with nothing to stand on for them. And I think him being the most, Nick pronouns pal, Nick Hausman being one of the most outspoken people about this, has really not come out with anything to back it up at all. Not a goddamn thing. Other than his opinions are his opinions and Kylie Rae heart emoji to fucking tweet. So there you go. I'm going to put that one to bed right there. Now, I did reach out to one other person I had fingered last week. Was the person that was spreading around. Anytime you saw a screenshot of this blurry tweet, it was taken from this ISO Wrestling, which I just kind of showed was just basically a fan page. And I did reach out to that person to see if there was any, if they knew where this tweet came from. They knew of any other, anything else that they could point me in any other direction that's backing up their loud noises on their page about this issue as well. And again, nothing, no response there at all. So I will put this to bed there. I will lay this to rest. I will get off. Nick Hausman's back. I do appreciate you, sir, for taking the time to respond to me on the record. And I do respect you for it. And, I will respect your respect your opinion and your take and your words and leave it there. But I want everybody within the sound of my voice that's made it this far in the video to really understand that there's absolutely nothing here. If you want to base your entire opinion on Chris Jericho, a guy that's been in the public eye for 30 plus years, a fucking heart emoji from quite frankly, a very flaky girl who not only was in and out of AEW very quick, but really didn't stick around much of anywhere. Very much like a female Leo Rush in that respect. Bounces around a lot. Can't hold down a job in the wrestling business. So, and that's not to discredit Kylie either. I'm saying her heart emojiing a blurry, nameless, faceless, vague tweet is just, it's not enough to ruin a man's entire career and cancel him and boo him and chant NDA and all that stuff. So it's fun to get involved. I think a lot of you are just bandwagon riders jumping on for your social justice points, as I said last week. Nick Hausman included. Look no further than his banner on his Twitter profile, still repping that pro-Ukraine, right? Still riding that bandwagon. When's the last time anybody even talked about Ukraine, right? So notice he's not taking a side between Palestine or Israel, because that would be confrontational. There's no social justice brownie points in taking a side in that particular war. So we're going to the other war that has nothing to do with us to pick a side in that one to show how virtuous we are. But, you know, I'm still picking at Nick. I apologize, Nick. I do respect you, and I do appreciate your time. I just think, you know, we have a very difference in opinion here, and I think it's questionable journalism. But who the fuck am I? I'm significantly smaller in this business than you are, so I am just a dude in my basement with a microphone. We'll leave it there, but it's something for you guys to think about within the sound of my voice, how we react to things, where's it coming from, who's perpetuating it, why are they perpetuating it, what do they have to back it up. And look, someday something might come out, as Nick Hausman said, for this, but until then, I think we need to step away from this social justice warrior, witch hunting and lynching of everybody in the court of public opinion, and really kind of step back and allow people to remain innocent till proven guilty, because it's just a tweet, folks. It's just a tweet. So until we have more than that, let's chill the fuck out, which we have, because we're worried about other tweets now, right? Tony Khan, thank God, and his barrage of ridiculous tweets has stolen the news cycle. But thank you to Nick Hausman for your participation in this story. Regardless of our difference of opinion or how much of a dick I've been to you, I respect you, sir. Peace, love, and pizza. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next.
Let me tell you something, brother. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on this channel, dude. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to take your vitamins and say your prayers, brother.